time later today. The Prime Minister, Nawaz...
Party report into voting irregularities by the Unite Union in Falkirk has been leaked to the press.
It comes ahead of a meeting of the Labour ruling executive to discuss party links with trade unions. Let's get more details from our political...
Yeah, just look at the boats.
Look at the
boats.
I mean, look, it really gives you a sense of what's going on there as well,
terrible,
doesn't it?
Terrible.
Wow. It is at 8:34. Here's what's coming up later in the programme. From Humble...
Yet there's more to come, Billy and Lou.
Thank you, Carol.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. See you shortly. Now, 10 years ago, a student at Harvard University created a social networking site in his bedroom. You might know the name of it. And now more than 1 billion people around the world use Facebook.
Well, for many people, it's a place to wish people happy birthday, make announcements or track down old friends.
But there have also been concerns in recent years about privacy, also content. Breakfast's Graham Satchell has been to meet one of the company's senior executives.
BBC News.
Well, we're going to talk about this right now with social media analyst Dr. Marion Hardy. Morning to you. You were what you call an early adopter, so you were one of the first people to join up to Facebook. Over the years, it's changed hugely. What does it mean to people, do you think, if that's an easy thing to say?
Okay, I think it means different things. I think ultimately for some it means that it's a social network, but we need to remember that actually, okay, it's a social network up to a point, but really it's a marketing, commercial and business platform. It trades in selling our data, but we do that because the trade-off is that we get to stay in touch with our friends and edit our social lives in a way that is, you know, personalised to us.
For an internet phenomenon to last 10 years is pretty amazing given the speed of the advance of technology. Some people are beginning to suggest that Facebook is old hat. Do you think so?
I think Facebook, if we look at it as an entity in itself, perhaps is a bit old hat, but look at what it's done. Look at the way that it's expanding into mobile, into apps, into smartphones, into Instagram. That was a canny purchase by Facebook.
Does it break down into age groups? Is it older people who are really stuck on it more and the younger generation looking elsewhere?
Well, crudely, my short answer is yes. The younger generation have been going on to Instagram more, but the user demographic that's most popular on Facebook and is spending longer than anyone else are the 40s plus.
Right, and you just picked up something you said. You said we edit our social lives. What do you mean by that?
There's a convenient way in which we can choose to be friends with people, and if we find someone obnoxious or overbearing, we can simply delete them out.
Perhaps that you couldn't in a dinner party or
absolutely,
I don't know,
or down the pub. Yeah.
How many friends have you got on Facebook?
That would be telling.
Oh, come on, tell us. Well, tell us then.
You know, I have less than 100.
Okay.
Deliberately so, because I want to edit things down to the people that I actually care about. Certainly when I first joined up, there was an element of, I want to say trolling almost, but a sort of reward popularity contest with how many people you could friend farm. But now I want to keep things, you know, to people I'm interested in.
Is that actually what other people do? Do you think has that been a change, or are you different in that?
I think it's different depending on what age you are. I think if you're a teenager, you care very much about what your friends are doing and your friends' friends are doing. The peer pressure is still there to a certain extent. Perhaps when you get older, you're a bit more resolute in terms of what's important to you and the stories that you're interested in.
Will we be still talking about Facebook in 10 years' time?
We'll be talking about a version of Facebook in 10 years' time, definitely.
Right. By Facebook or by perhaps something else?
Perhaps by something else, but the commercial data that's already on Facebook is a heritage and a legacy of 10 years old, and as you point out, that's unusual in technology terms. There's a wealth of possibilities and business opportunities there. 20 years from now, that'll be 20 years worth of data. That's very valuable. And
when you're connecting with your 100 or so friends, how long do you spend on any one session?
It's hard to say because you don't notice it, because it's so, you know, it's seamless through your different devices. If you're on your mobile phone, if you're on the move, you don't necessarily sit down and make time for Facebook. It's just a point of convenience if you're waiting for the bus, the train, etc., etc. Even before I came on for this interview.
Really? Did you
and
tell everybody
after as well?
I might have kept quiet about that.
Yeah. Now you have to change your status. Just been on the sofa.
Oh, that's right.
Now I'm off the sofa.
That's right.
All right.
Thank you
very much. Thank you. You can see more of Graham's interview with Nicola Mendelsohn, which we ran a couple.
It quietens down a touch. It will still be windy, but not as windy, and there will be some showers around, but there'll be some brighter spells in between with some sunshine. Monday too looks like a quieter day, but then it all kicks off again as more low pressure comes in from the Atlantic. Charlie and Susanna.
Carol, thank you very much. It is just coming up to 9 o'clock.
Gary Oldman has spoken out about his shock over the death of the actor Philip Seymour Hoffman last week. He's told Breakfast how he feels he could have suffered a similar fate had he not stopped drinking 17 years ago.
He's now starring in a remake of the 1987 sci-fi thriller RoboCop, and he's been telling me about some of the challenges of making a much-loved classic once again. Funny thing about big Hollywood movie stars particularly is that you've done loads of these.
Yeah.
They say films they love, they never say specifically films they don't like.
No, because you wouldn't want to aggravate a director that you might be working with.
Gary Oldman is one man who's prepared to go into that territory.
Yeah.
And apropos of nothing, and I need to explain this so it makes sense at all, just before I did the interview with Gary Oldman in a London hotel room, I happened to weigh myself. I'm not in the habit of doing it, but I weighed myself.
Well, but you went into the bathroom of the hotel
and the
room.
scales were there, and I just weighed myself.
Curious.
I just there, so I did it, and that was rather in my head as we sat down.
Let's find out what happened next.
Do you weigh yourself much?
No.
Never?
No.
Why not?
No.